So pranams everybody. Arunachala Shiva. Asato ma satgame. Tamaso ma jyotirgame. Mrityor mahamritam game. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, welcome to the 10th episode or the 10th session of Arunachala Ramana Chintanam. So we are doing Chintan on the journey of our life towards the self. Journey of Ma Parvati towards Shiva, macrocosmic reality. So the interpretation reality of that is we moving closer to the self, Parvati moving closer to Arunachala, we moving closer to the self. Deep reflections these are. So whatever we are understanding from the outside stories or the outside happenings or the Puranas, as I mentioned yesterday, the Puranas are the deep representation of your inner world. The Ramayana, Mahabharata, whatever you take, Durga Shapsati, any mythological ritual or worship you take outside, they are done so that you realize the inner reality of it. You are worshipping Ma Durga so that you know the Durga Tattva within you. You are worshipping Lord Shiva so that you know the self. You are worshipping Ganesha so that you know your state of purified chitta, the pure intellect. You are worshipping Murugan, Skanda, Kartikeya, Kumara, so that you know your inner guide, your inner light, your inner guru. Anything you do outside is only for the inside. So if you see this whole series, right from series 1, it is just focusing on this one topic deeply. And as I told you, this is only for those who are interested to go towards the self, those who are interested in the teachings of Bhagavan Ramana, interested in understanding the secrets and mysteries of Arunachala, interested in the final Upadesha, the final teachings which go beyond the mind, which go beyond all the doings, those who are interested to move into the being by giving up the doing. Doing is chaos, doing is noise, being is silence. So moving towards silence, moving from movement to stillness, from chanchalta to nishalta. And we are understanding chanchalta doesn't mean sitting quietly in one place, closing your eyes, rolling up your eyes, pulling your breath in, and meditating on some concept. Concept itself is a noise. Till your mind is active, till you are doing anything in your mind, that is not true meditation, nor will that give you samadhi. It will keep you entertained in the mind with some goody feelings. No doubt it has its own advantage, like feeling good, blissful, or peaceful, or having some inner experiences, some visions, some vibrations, some good feelings. But I'm telling you, that is a drawback for seekers who are seeking the self. As you come closer to the self, you'll understand these are nothing but pure obstacles. They have no real meaning after a certain point. Whomever you see, whatever you see inside, all those experiences doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is the annihilation of those experiences. Even one experience will make you chanchala, however holy or divine that concept or thought or feeling might be. So the seekers who are moving closer to the self will realize these, which were once upon a time considered great achievements, they will realize that these are nothing but fleeting experiences. Only when one realizes these are fleeting experiences and all these experiences are another part of Maya itself, will the interest towards them reduce and the journey go beyond all these experiences. And that is when the real journey begins. I've elaborated this multiple times before. The journey begins from Muladhara because Shakti is lying there. Shakti is a representation of you and mine consciousness, which is at the pit bottom, ready to awaken. Pit bottom of a human being. If you take any other yonis, any other species, they also have chakras, but their ascension is not completion. When you ascend from all the other species, from their lower nature to whatever is their higher state or in all the animalistic natures, after multiple lifetimes, then you become eligible to get a human body. And in that human body, you again start from the Muladhara. When you start from the Muladhara, you carry the instincts, the imprints of previous janmas, of previous yonis, previous experiences, and that is known as animalistic tendencies or the Pashutulya, Pashubhava. So the journey of a human being when it awakens in the Muladhara, now the journey is from Muladhara upwards to remove these impurities called the Pashuvrittis. And all these sadhanas, what we do, all the different practices, help in cleaning up the animalistic instincts. Whether you do japa, tapa, whether you do havan, whether you do any kind of external puja, karmkand, they all help you in removing slowly these pashuvrittis. The remover of this pashuvrittis is generally referred to as Pashupatinath. That dominating, that powerful force of Shiva unleashed, which is nothing but grace, by which the Pashuvrittis can be annihilated. Because as I told you, it's not enough that we put human efforts. Human efforts are not just enough. It needs more support. And that is what we call as grace. So the grace of Pashupatinath. As our journey moves upwards through all the lower chakras, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, and the Anahata, and come to the Vishuddhi, Shuddhi, the mind purifies to a great extent, and the consciousness comes till Vishuddhi. So here you can say the mind becomes pure, Nirmalman. And only when the mind becomes pure can one move towards Nishalman. I've elaborated this before also that Nirmal, removing Mala, Mal does not mean just negativities or vasanas or impurities or desires or dirtiness, impure thoughts. We generally think Mala means mind is dirty, means mind has negative or dirty thoughts. This is what we think, but that's not what is Mala. Mala simply means ignorance. Deeply feeling that I am this body, I am this identity, trusting it, believing it, and going with it, and living at that life is called mala. It is due to lot of other karmas and vasanas and so on. So good, even the good vasanas, good tendencies also is mala. Anything that makes you move is mala. Anything that makes you move means, because that's desire. Movement is desire. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Then you become more moving towards samsara. Shrishti Chakra. Yesterday we explained Shrishti and the Sanghar Chakra of Sri Vidya. Shrishti Chakra is when the kama, the desire, the basic desire, everything is basic desire only. See, the whole creation begins from desire itself. The desire to experience itself, it began there. That's the first desire. In Bible, it's a beautiful saying called the original sin. All religions, I assure you, are talking the same thing. It has been widely misinterpreted over the ages, so there is so much of confusion. But if you deeply go into the roots of all religion, the source is the same. Bible talks about the same, which Bhagavan Ramana beautifully explained to many times. Because as I told, he had read only the Bible and Periya Purana. Only two things he had known very clearly in his childhood, because these two books were there in his house. So he has explained even the Bible, the teachings of Jesus beautifully. So Bible also talks about this, the original sin. That original sin is this first desire, from where everything happened. So that is the sin. The rest all are the byproducts of that sin only. What do you call sin? Sin is not just harm or something. Sin, that impurity, mala. Sin means the desire that takes you to the world, downward. That is called adhogati. And that is called the forest path by Bhagavan Nityananda, Jungle Rasta. So the source is desire, but the desire's direction. If the desire moves outward, it is adhogati, it moves down toward the Muladhara, means samsara, creation, outside. But if the source, the first desires, if the movement is inward, then it is urdhagati, upward. It moves towards mukti, or liberation. And that is called Sanghar Chakra in Sri Vidya. Sanghar Chakra and Shrishti Chakra, both the fuel is desire only. So desire is not bad. Desire is your basic tattva. You can't remove desire because you exist as desire only. You just pay attention and go deep into awareness, you will come to know. Your very being is desire. The first desire to just be. To exist is the first desire, the original sin. It wants to exist. If it doesn't exist, there is no problem. It wants to exist. Now, for its existence, it will do everything else. So, desire, this is what I have investigated properly. Desire cannot be uprooted, but desire can be given a direction, because you are desire. Desire is kama. You cannot uproot sexual feelings from your life. Kama, lust. The lust, because basically we are vibration of lust only. That's desire. Now, sexual feeling, what I mean is the original source. When it moves outward, it is a sexual tendency. When it moves inward, it is annihilation. It is the same power, which is Kundalini. Simply the direction, the calm vasana, what you call, the desire, upward or downward, that's it. But you cannot move upward without that thing which you condemn as sexual desire. You cannot even move upward, because the very source of your existence is kama, desire, because the whole Srishti began with kama. Now you understand the meaning of Kameshwara, Kameshwari. Shiva only it is. It's all on desire. So if you investigate deeply, it is useless to even try to get rid of desires. But the only thing that you can do is direction. Ichha Shakti is going to be there. You see, when you awake, you want to sleep. When you sleep, you want to wake up. When you're awake, you want to meditate. When you meditate, you want to get up. You can't deny that. How long are you going to sit in meditation? There will be a desire that will start emerging from within to now enough, get up. That desire which moves you towards meditation, is Urdhagati desire. That is the Sanghar Chakra. What do you do when you want to meditate? You simply get rid of everything else. That time you cannot boast also. I am a father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister. Whoever you are, however possessed, obsessed you are, at that moment you have to do Sanghar Chakra only. You cannot सबको गोद में बिठा के आप ध्यान में नहीं लेके जा सकते. You will have to throw them out first in your physical space. Then you will have to throw them out from your mental space. Then only you can enter into dhyana. So you are getting rid, right? Sanghar Chakra. That desire to put everything out of your system. That desire only is Sanghar Chakra. Sanghar karta ho, destruction. Sanghar means destruction. That is Rudra Tattva. So when you want to meditate, you are becoming Bhairava. You cut out everything. No compromise. If you compromise, you can never enter into meditation. A time is there when it's me time. But of course, the poor me, that me time doesn't survive for long. Sanghar Chakra hua, you're sitting inside. From inside, a stir will happen. Kama. Another desire to get out. Open your eyes. Why? Because spending energy in the chitta, there are many vasanas and desires pending. They will not allow you to meditate in peace. So that desire which stirs from inside, even without your knowledge, that is Shrishti Chakra. The desire to open your eyes, Kundalini is going downward. Do you see? So our life is like a pendulum. Sometimes here, sometimes there. Sometimes down, sometimes up. So what happens? When you go up and down, that's a life graph, like your life graph is going on. Up and down, up and down. When this up and down stops, life is over. Simple things if you understand. So, going inward, going outward, both are basic root is kama, desire, and that desire is itself Shakti. Understanding? Within us, whatever you feel, within you, whatever you are feeling moving, whatever you are feeling stirring, this you will not understand. If you do these deep webinars of shifting into awareness, you will easily understand. Like Navaratra times we did Parashakti for a week. You got the clear picture, right? Exactly how it is. You can even experience that Parashakti within you. You can experience the force of Kundalini. Not just in your this chakra or that chakra, it is in you as you. Even your eye is blinking due to the Kundalini power. Even your head is turning. Without Shakti, you can't. Anything that is moving in you is Shakti. The day you understand this, the outward attraction will drop towards even spirituality, whole spiritual beingness. will be inside. The whole contemplation of any concept will be inside. You don't have to deny any concept. You don't have to deny any gods. You don't have to become either an atheist or a theist. Spirituality has nothing to do with both. It has nothing to do with you non believing, it has nothing to do with you believing. It's beyond the belief and non belief, it is beyond atheism and theism. Atheism or theism both are concepts of the mind. One mind says God exists, one mind says God doesn't exist. Bhagavan Ramana says one must not waste time discussing in all these mundane talks about whether God is there, God is not there. Neither wasting time in discussing whether duality is real or non duality is real. Both sit and quarrel and argue and debate. One says God is inside, one says God is outside. One says God is in everything, one says God is in nothing. One says God is shunya, zero, absolute nothing. One says God is everything and absolutely infinite. Both are right. Inclusive and exclusive, both are right. But you must rise beyond right and wrong. That is what Rumi said. There is a realm between the wrongdoing and right doing. I shall meet you there. Sufi poet Rumi says this. That realm, Turyatit, beyond all these talks and discussion, this or that, Ashtavakra Gita. If you contemplate on Ashtavakra Gita, the whole Ashtavakra Gita is neither this, neither that. How beautiful is Ashtavakra Gita when it says, not this, not that. It doesn't catch any damn thing. It doesn't even, look at this, it doesn't even talk about bondage and is not interested in anything about bondage. Neither it is interested in liberation. The secret is when you're interested in both these, it happens. When you're not interested in both these, you remain interested in any, you are chanchala. Your mind will be active, busy in those activities of the mind. These are all mind activities, whether it is there or not there. So Bhagavan Ramana beautifully says this. There's no point. Simply get to the point. I mean, what has been told to do, just go beyond it. Realize who am I? That I zone which is there, the real I, is beyond the right and wrong, beyond the Advaita or Dvaita, beyond theism and atheism. This is Arunachala Tattva, Bhagavan Ramana's Tattva, what I am talking. So if you understand these things, it will be very easy to understand Bhagavan Ramana's teachings. Otherwise, it will go over your head. It will seem boring. How many times has it happened? It still happens, I'm very sure. Seekers might boast about spirituality and their so and so, but I guarantee you, Shidakasha Gita is boring to them. Ashtavakra Gita is boring to them. Avadhuta Gita is boring to them. Because it doesn't have masala only. Ashtavakra Gita and Avadhuta Gita especially has no masala. We are attracted to the terminology Avadhuta. We are actually attracting ourselves to miracles because we know Avadhut is something that is very high, very powerful. Powerful means indirectly, subconsciously, something mysterious and something very powerful, magical. I mean, we want magic in our life. So we go towards the Avadhut Tattva, but when you come to know what Avadhut Tattva is, you lose interest. How many times I've seen people lifting up the Avadhut Gita book and not able to complete it? How many times I've seen people lifting up Chidakasha Gita and not interested? Because first of all, it is going bouncers. And it appears to be some alien kind of languages. They are not alien languages. We have alienated ourselves from this because we are so interested in all these mental concepts and entertainments that we simply don't want to go beyond it. That is why the mind seeks entertainment even in these high scriptures. That is why there is no crowd in these paths. You go to the old times where Nisardat Maharaj used to sit like 20, 30 people beneath in one small room in Mumbai, and everybody is coming from far and outside. Simple discourses. One guy sitting there with a BD smoking and talking something in Marathi, and somebody sitting there besides and translating it to almost 80% who do not know Marathi or Hindi. What would you call that? You don't know the language, but you are coming overseas just to meet a person sitting in a small room, smoking BDs. No thrill, no glamour, no advertisement, no beard, no Rudraksha, nothing to promote, sitting there bare. You travel all the way to come and sit in the presence of such person when you don't even understand what he's saying? Come on, think about it. But even if it is a few people, you will see how little the population is which is interested in these tattvas, and how fulfilling and how overflowing is the population, the glamour spirituality overflowing. You don't get seats here. Vacancy is there, full empty. I've seen this because I've met and been with almost 15, 14, 15 Avadhutas all in the South India. I've seen no public there. Unfortunate, because the real crux, the real thing is there. Chidakasha Gita. How many people are interested? Even when Bhagwan Ramana lived, hardly any people. Now you see countless people coming when he is not there. Imagine when he was there, a person sitting half nude, almost naked, having nothing, no possessions, not even having jnana. Now, he's not giving preaching, he's not giving any discourse. Imagine, then also people came through steamers, ships, the aeroplane from so many different countries, and even settled down around him, around a person who's crooked, walking with a stick, almost silent. Come on. Why would somebody come just to live with somebody who don't even speak, who doesn't even move, no activity, no promotions, no talks, no nothing to offer, but still a pull. But even if that pull is there again, how many people? Do you understand? The path which is beyond this Vishuddhi, it thins out. It's very difficult. You'll find a lot of traffic from Muladhara to Vishuddhi paths. The paths that keep you outward, what I call as entertainment and glamour and things like that, this is all the path from Muladhara to Vishuddhi. Up and down you'll be doing. All thrills, siddhis, and you can talk of so much of things, so much of happening and shaktipaths and experiences, and this happened and miracles happened and transformation happened. You can go on and on and on and on and on. The powers and the manifestations, how powerful you can manifest. But after Vishuddhi is where the real spirituality begins, which Bhagavan Nityananda clearly says in Chidakasha Gita, that your Muladhara is not in your tailbone. Your Muladhara is in your Vishuddhi. From there are 7 chakras, and we get confused. That is why we keep that book aside. ये क्या है? Muladhara here? To Sahasrara, 7 chakras here. This is what he means. Actual journey begins here. And this is the inward journey. After Nirmal Man, now it is moving to Nischal Man, Vishal Man. Am I getting it? Vishal Man means one mind. Now I have my mind, you have a mind, everybody has a mind. Distinction. Khandit ho gaya. Vishal Man means just one mind. There's no, that's omnipresence. You can say that is Shiva's mind. All our minds put together cumulatively is Shiva's mind. That's Vishal Man. Nirmal Man. Nirmal tak aisa aayega. You have to keep clearing all the paths. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Doer is very strong. I is very strong. The yogi is very strong. The sadhaka is very strong. The ego is very strong yet. But as this egoic tendency starts washing out with the power of the same sadhanas, it starts settling here. The doing starts reducing. And from Vishuddhi, when you move upward to this spot, which is where we are now, we are talking all at this Arunachala spot. Murugan, Viveka, inner guru, inner light, the wisdom path, Jnanamaya Kosha. The fourth marga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. The fourth and the last, if you see the Bhagavad Gita, what is Bhagavad Gita? It is differentiated into four khands, four divisions. Lord Krishna is beautifully explaining the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Raj Yoga, and finally he opens the last chapter, which he calls the Royal Path, Gyani Yoga. And that's what we are in, Gyan Marga. That is called the Royal Path, which Bhagavan Nityananda talks in Chidakasha Gita as the Royal Path. He says, choose one. He says, either you go to the forest path or the royal path. Royal path is the path towards Jnana, towards Mukti, and the forest path is down towards Samsara, jungle. And Bhagavan Nityananda very clearly says, unlike our beliefs that both can go together and fantastically, Bhagavan Nityananda says you cannot. Choose one. Yesterday I was reading when Swami Vivekananda saying the same. You cannot have both. Choose one. Either you go down, or either you go up. If you say both are needed in life, then you will be simply jumping up and down. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. 100%. If you say, no, I want bhoga and the mukti path, both can go, both cannot go together, because the moment you are in bhoga, you cannot be mukt. And if you are in mukta, you cannot have bhoga. You are not interested in that. Either one it is. So Bhagavan Nityananda in Chidakasha Gita very clearly says, choose one. Either the royal path or the forest path, either the world of samsara or the world of mukti. And Bhagavan Nityananda clearly says, both cannot go together, because both are like day or night, day and night. Day and night cannot be together. It's either day or either night. So if we like both the day and night, we will say, okay, day and then night. So now we are experiencing night, but we know again day will come. So tomorrow we'll see the day, but then we know again night will come. This is what we call punarpi janmam, punarpi maranam. If you're interested to not annihilate both the duality, if you like the duality, if you choose even one, the other will come automatically. If you say, no, I love the night, day is going to come automatically to you. If you say, I love the night, how long? Day will follow you. If you say day, night will follow you. Anything one you choose, the other will come. If you say, I want to be happy, sadness also will come opposite. If you say, I want to be born, death will come. You choose one, the other will come. What is the path then? Path is annihilating both. What Rumi says, beyond right doing and wrong doing. Beyond this and that, beyond birth and death, beyond happiness and sorrow, beyond this janma and mrityu, beyond this wisdom and ignorance, beyond the royal path and the forest path, beyond the bhoga and moksha. These talks will happen only in the Jnana Marga. Beyond bhoga moksha, beyond below this, you will keep talking about all this, and you don't even know. In the name of moksha, you are seeking bhoga. Contemplate deeply. Honestly contemplate. You might give glorified name moksha, poksha, and all that. Mukti, Vukti, and all that. But deeply, if you see that mukti also, you are giving another name to your bhoga only. Any practices you say about bhoga and moksha, you will automatically attract a crowd because that moksha word is very shining there, but there is a luring gem in that moksha word called bhoga. Vasanas will rise from inside and say, wow, this is a pretty good offer. Ek ke saath ek free. Just get into bhoga and moksha is also going to come to you. And Nityananda says, choose one, you cannot have both. In the start, yes. In the start, it is needed because if you only choose bhoga, then you are completely going to get lost. So the paths, gurus, they arrive in your life by the grace of God to keep you afloat so that you don't get lost. You bhoga also is there, but be connected also. Yogastu Guru Karmani. So that is an anchoring. It is an anchor. In the start, it is anchor. But once a sadhaka is anchored, Vishuddhi Chakra, and they want to go beyond, then it is one path. Here you cannot talk about bhoga moksha. Until you have tivricha for moksha, that is what you call as mumukshatva, you will never propel ahead. Check it out if you want. You will keep dangling here only. You cannot move beyond the gravity of this. The rocket cannot go. Rocket needs to go in that force. For that, you need only one direction. Sadhya, as I said. Sadhaka and the sadhya. If that is your sadhya, sadhanas will come to you automatically. All bandhavas will come to you how to move ahead. But if you are contaminated with both, then again you will go down. That is why the Shakti, when it comes till Vishuddhi now, Parvati, that is this whole story. Coming to Kanchipuram and then moving to Arunachala. Kanchipuram, Arunachala. As she is coming closer, the tendency of going down is still there. That can be seen in the final Upadesha given by Shiva to Parvati, where Uma Devi is sitting and asking Mahadev. She is sitting here. She has come till here. Tapas. She has done enough tapas. Come till here. Shiva is here. Sastrara. She is sitting here at the feet of the Lord. This is a symbolic expression. When your chitta comes here, you are sitting at the feet of the Guru means this only. Here, this path is so sukshma, you cannot go here. You have to melt down here. Otherwise, you cannot become Shiva. You cannot become someone and go there as a sadhaka, as a seeker, as a yogi, bhogi, and all that. All identity has to go. When the identity goes, you simply dissolve and become that. You evaporate into that, you can say. So, Parvati is sitting here and asking Shiva, I want to reach you. I'm very close to you, but not happening. That's why she's seeking advice. And that time, what is he saying? The first word that Shiva says is, I will give you the Brahma Gyana, the secret of how to reach your Brahma Gyana, but first Remove all doubts and fears from your mind and sit still. What does he say? Sit still. Become Nishala. Why? Because Chanchala, nature of Shakti is Chanchala. When your consciousness comes here, it is Chanchala. It wants to run down. It wants to go out. So Shiva will never give Brahma Gyan until you have become completely Nischala. That is the secret of Devi Kalatra. And that Bhagavan Nityananda has explained very well. Till here, Nirmal Man, do whatever practices you want to do. After Nirmal Man, then you are moving towards becoming Nischala. How can you become Nischala when you have so many desires? That is why Bhagavan Nityananda in Chidakasha Gita, you can see the pressure with which he is telling. He is telling you beggars. He is using those words. 2-3 times he has used. Oh beggars, leave your desires for world. Why is he saying that? Now he is not talking to the general public. He said all that and hid it in a book. And that book was never talked by Bhagavan to anybody. I have at least never seen it in any other books. The talks of Chidakasha Gita, which is talking to the general devotees who's coming to meet him. There he's telling, okay, get married, do this, okay, blessing everybody in, but because that's a realm of the world, it's not yet come even till here. For them, he's giving Upadesha, have a guru, don't leave the feet of the guru, stay at the feet of the guru, do this practice, breathe, the bucket practices that he's giving in the start of Chidakasha Gita, lifting the bucket and pulling it through your Sushumna and taking the breath, the prana from there and emptying it up and all that. The start for Chitta Shuddhi. That time he cannot tell. But as you see the progress in Chidakasha Gita, towards the end, he's talking all these things. He's getting more serious. We will not know because we have not. Chidakasha Gita is boring for many. We do these things only in Chidakasha retreat. I've done 2 in Ganeshpuri, 2 in Kanangad. The next one in Kanangad will be somewhere around October, November. This is 2026. So we deeply contemplate on Bhagavan Nityananda's teachings, which he left behind for serious seekers. It is not for everybody. If it was for everybody, he would have given pravachan. He never spoke these things. In fact, he told Tulsi Amma, after giving this divine work, he said, preserve it in a book. Get it published in a book. So, Bhagavan Nityananda has already made arrangement for us. Who says he is not there? He knew one day we will sit with it. We means not us, whoever is ready. He knew that he is not going to be in the body, so he has left behind his energies and grace in Chirakasha Gita. Exactly like how Bhagavan Ramana has left his energies and grace through all these texts. Why did he sit and do this work? If you see Bhagavan Ramana, who lived on that hill almost more than 60% of his life, he was in Mauna and no activity, nothing. And then you can see the later part of his life when his body is growing old. He's sitting with books and writing transcripts and sitting with devotees and doing corrections and all that. What do you think? Why he is doing that? Mass level, he did that work. Devi Kalotra, what I am talking all this, he did meticulous work on that. But he never lectured there. Do you observe that? He never kept talking about what is there in this to the general. I don't see it in any of the talks, conversations that is recorded of Bhagavan Ramana. This shows that they are preserving it for the right people. Devi Kalotra was not for all. It is still not for everybody. Like Chidakasha Gita is not for everybody. But there are few who by their grace, by Bhagavan's grace, Bhagavan Nityananda, Bhagavan Ramanas, by their grace only you get pulled. And by their grace only you will be made to understand it. Without their grace, it is impossible to understand. With our buddhi, nothing can happen. With our little this mind, what can we understand? Without grace, it's impossible. So it clearly shows. This is my investigation with both these giants, both these langot giants, loincloth masters, Avadhuts, real Avadhuts, real in that core of the Avadhuta Gita, you remove and you look at Bhagavan Nityananda, Bhagavan Ramana, you'll see verse to verse matching. See it, you want study it. Most of us don't even read that book, Avadhuta Gita, because it does not agree with our comfortable beliefs. We have all cooked up stories in our head, and that doesn't match with what is there in the text, so you push it away because you love living in fantasies and imaginations. It's so nice. So I tell those who have the guts only can open this book, and those who have the guts, with the courage only can look and study it and interpret it in their lives and live it out. You need courage to face the truth and live the truth, especially when you're living in a world of so much of falseness. The obstacles are not everywhere. The major things that you see, main obstacles are these only: the first living conditions in which you live. So much of obstacles that you literally have to retreat and find the isolated place. Why do you think in this samsara everybody is running? All these rishis and yogis and all these people, they run to isolation because it's a fake world. They can't allow you, they are not going to cooperate with you. I don't call even this the fake world only. I call even the spiritual world as fake world, because that's another place you got to run from. You run first from samsara, you end up in spirituality or religion. From there again you have to run, because there is so much of challenges there. When you are like these truths, what we are contemplating, can you live this? Can you live this in the spiritual and religious world? Check it out. You will not be allowed to live. You will be persecuted. Yes, even in spirituality and religion. So that's a major challenge. Without grace, you cannot move. So I say surrender. Surrender to that grace. That will only do it. So today again I brief to you about the journey of Shakti from Muladhara to here. She has cleansed herself and now she's sitting here asking Shiva, how do I reach you? He says, first condition, be still. No other desire, no other thought. Listen only with one rapt attention towards me. Nothing else in your mind. And because he knows there will come something or the other in the mind, because the mind is busy, it can't sit quiet. Forget the world. Even if you have risen about the world, you have not risen about your spirituality. You can't sit quietly. You'll say, I have to do my morning meditation. Like the worldly man says, I have to do my morning jogging. You say, I have to take my pill in the morning. A rogi says, I have to take my morning medicine. A bhogi says, I have to go for my morning routines, whatever he is doing. And a yogi says, I have to do my morning meditation. Still stuck with something to do. I have to do something. Can't sit quiet. Even a spiritual person can't sit quiet because they feel the whole world will thunder, the whole spirituality, the whole clouds will crash on their head if they stop doing anything. Without understanding that whatever they are doing in life is to come to stillness and not do. If you are returning, if you are coming to that natural state, then there is nothing to do. It cannot be done in the start, but after cleansing, it automatically starts happening. Then you are not interested in doing anything. If you do there, if you prescribe somebody, no, today sadhana you have not done, it is just equivalent to a person who has taken sleeping pills and gone to lie down on the bed and is snoring nicely, and you are going and waking up and saying, get up. When he wakes up, what? You have not taken your sleeping pill today. You slept. Yeah, I said sorry in the start. Taken a sleeping pill. The person who's regularly taking for insomnia sleeping pill, and one day before taking this pill, he or she falls asleep. He falls there, Unknowingly goes into sleep. So the loved one comes and says, "Oh, pills you have not taken today. Wake up, wake up, wake up." You have to wake that person up. And that person wakes, "What? Take your pills, you have not taken pills." This is what it means. And Parvati is sitting here. She's supposed to just be there. If you're there, it's done. But the nature of the mind is not such. It wants to do something. So Shiva says, what does he say? Say still. And then he says, remove your fear and doubts and listen to me with one pointed attention. I'm giving you the Brahma Gyan. And Brahma Gyan, before being given also, first he says, throw your meditations. Give up all your activities, Kundalini sadhanas. Give up all your chakra sadhanas. Give up all your meditations of your deities, of gods and goddesses. Give up all the gods and goddesses, he says, including the deities sitting in the petals, including Vinayaka, he says, Ganesha was sitting in the Muladhara. He's telling, give up everything, just be. So you can see that's the training being given to Parvati in the start. But to come till Arunachala, Parvati, what all she has to go through. Exactly, don't you see this is our journey? To come till Arunachala, kitna papad bilna pada. To come to this tattva, to come close to Atma Gyan, Brahma Gyan. How much, what all has to be done? That is, we are only that Parvati, because Parvati is active in us, Shakti. And the Shivatva in us only is instructing, go here, do this. And he is only pulling us towards Arunachala. He is only making us listen to the Mahima of Arunachala. Are you getting the whole thing? Like Parvati was instructed to go to the Gautama Rishi and understand the glory of Mahima. Because once you understand the deeper secrets, not everybody can understand, but one whose mind has become clear of all the concepts, then that is all that they can see. If too many concepts are there, they cannot see. It's all clouded. Brahmagyan is a protected tattva. It cannot be broken. You cannot break through by cunningness or doing some flattery. I flatter my guru. I'll flatter gods. I'll give extra donations. I'll do extra seva to my guru and win his. You cannot do that, because that extra is more chanchalta only. That chanchalta, that cunningness has to go down. That's the ego aspect. So even the guru is helpless. Even gods are helpless to give. You see, even you can see with Shiva is helpless to give Parvati. If Shiva is Shiva and he can just grant boon, why would he send her to Kanchipuram and say, do this sadhana, do this, and slowly? Because he is also helpless. You see the whole thing. Right now, it is not that God doesn't want it. He is more than interested. But without our permission, it will not happen. What is that permission? Because it is my birthright to have an experience. Whether I experience bhoga or whether I experience moksha, it is my experience that I'm living for. That's the reason I exist. That's my birthright. So I can continue playing or I can get out of the game. But the moment I want to get out of the game, I want to, that's desire. You are having the right desire, right, towards the right sadhya, then the sadhaka will attract that kind of sadhana. But the desire is very important, that direction. One pointed, mumukshatva. Why they call mumukshatva? Adi Shankaracharya ji said there are three qualities needed for mukti, without which it's impossible. First is a human body. We all have that. Second is the grace of the Guru Tattva. We all have that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be even sitting here. Third is mumukshatva. Intense one-pointed desire. One directional. Not, oh, I need to maintain this also at the same time. Let me do moksha. It will not happen. Mumukshatva, the rocket to penetrate and pass through this gravity pull. You need that kind of one pointedness. So when it comes here, Parvati's last question is, now what from here? Now he says, you have come here with your effort till here. Now no effort. The rocket has come into the orbit. It is installed into the orbit. The rocket had installed the satellite here. Now the satellite is without any force. It is effortlessly moving in the orbit. You see that? But to come to that orbit, it has to pass through this strong gravitational pull. For that, that rocket is needed. You can say you are the satellite and the rocket is your guru. You can say if you want, if that pleases you. For little more mature seekers, you can say the mind is the satellite and your viveka is the rocket. Your awareness is the rocket. Whichever you say. So, more the grace, the more the pull, the push, the thrust. That's why I say meditate on the grace always. What we do in the end of every session, meditate that. It is not an end prayer, it's our regular prayer. You can make it 24/7. That last thing that we do in the end. Every time we do is little different, but it's the same tattva. Because grace is the only thing that will push you there. So Shiva is saying, say still first, and then he gives the Brahma. He makes her remove everything first. Give up this, give up that. And she still has questions. Why this, why that? After everything is gratified, then she becomes calm. She gives up everything and then she's sitting. And then now she is only contemplating on Atma Jnana. And Shiva is giving his nature what he is. And she is now remembering her home, her originality. And as she is dissolving herself in that Brahmajnana, she becomes one with Shiva. That is Arunachaleshwara, Ardhanareshwara. That story happened in Arunachala, Ardhanareshwara. There is a temple also dedicated there. We go in the retreat times there, at the foothill only. That's the point where the thing happened. Externally, if you see it, the unison, the Shakti becoming one, where Ramana became one with Shiva, where we will become one with Shiva. So, yesterday we were talking about Lord Narayana, the protector of the universe, who's lying on the thousand tongued serpent Adishesha, which is representing the intellect and the knowledge. He absorbed in Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra I explained yesterday. It is not the grass sleep, it is the sleep where you're aware. You're aware. So, even when the darkness happens, or the pralaya happens, or the sleep happens, the night falls. In the night also there is awareness. You can simply say, when the whole pralaya happens and everything destroys, where we say the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh also goes off. They're all destroyed. They're all annihilated, dissolved. But in truest sense, where do they go? Because another cycle and everything comes out in a different way. You see life and death, for example, when death happens, when we leave this body. Where do you go? All this grossness is destroyed. But you, the awareness remains. The consciousness remains. And you reconstruct yourself into another body. The whole old story is erased. Now new story begins. Don't you see the resemblance in Pralaya? Everything is destroyed and the whole reconstruction, it begins with a new, it all looks new. It just looks new. It is not new. Like right now, we might talk about Kali Yuga, this Yuga, that Yuga, as though this is the first time it's happening. We just don't remember we have been here many times before, many yugas, how many cycles we have passed through. We don't remember. So we call it one story. Oh, we started somewhere, now Kali Yuga is there. We talk so much about it. When will the Satyuga come? Whether Satyuga comes or any Yuga comes, you have always been circling. Freedom has not happened because the Chitta Shuddhi has not happened. The desires have completely not been annihilated. The Mukti has not happened. So every time there is a dissolution, you still exist in this cosmos, in this darkness, in the nothingness, in the Shunya, in the Kala Bhairava. You exist as nothing. From the nothing you rise up, just like by birth and death. That is Vishnu Tattva. The cosmic intelligence, the intellect, it never dies. It might exist as some creation. When the creation goes, the intelligence doesn't go. Cosmic intelligence remains. Even in that nothingness, there is this cosmic intelligence force which is a knowing that is known as the Gyana Shakti. Gyana is always there. Bhagavan Ramana, how beautifully he says, the self itself is Gyana. How can you define the self? One of the way is the self itself is the Gyana, the wisdom. So realizing the self and realizing the wisdom is one and the same. Being one with that cosmic intelligence, you become that intelligence. You are there. You survive always. Sometimes as a manifested entity, sometimes when the entity is dissolved, as that God Tattva only, which is Vishnu. That is Yog Nidra. Even in Neend, even in the sleep, you exist. Awareness exists. That is why it is called Yog Nidra. It is a state. Yog means union, one, two becoming one. So the consciousness and awareness exists. The consciousness is still connected to this awareness. The whole cosmic space was enveloped in complete darkness. The sages were worried over this state of affair. They prayed to Lord Shiva. Then the Lord manifested himself before the object of before them with the object of protecting the universe. From the effulgent Shambhu, 33 crore devas emerged as sparks and scattered in all directions. You can see this pralaya gone back, the Vishnu Tattva, complete darkness. That is what is the story says here. Whole cosmic space was in complete darkness. That is what we call as the Vishnu is gone to sleep, deep slumber. So the sages got worried and they prayed to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, they say, the effulgent Shambhu, from him 33 crore Deva emerged as sparks. That 33 crore is the Big Bang again, a new creation. Sparks of souls. From those that Devi Devatas only, we are here. In the start, we were all that only. In the start, we were Shiva. Then why can't we be Devi Devatas? Why can't we be ascended masters and incarnations and all that? The spark gathers ego, the spark reduces. But in the start, we are all that 33 crores sparks. Can you see? Yog Nidra, complete annihilation. And the story is woven as they are praying to Shiva, and Shiva, from Shiva, bursts out this 33. Means another creation has begun. So he pondered, Vishnu pondered, overcome by darkness or ignorance, I fell into untimely sleep, forgetting my real nature. Sadashiva, the supremely effulgent being, seems to have revealed his form in order to wake me up and taken upon himself the task of creating the worlds. What remains for me and Brahma to do? So here now, Vishnu is, he is all in the story format. Vishnu is contemplating. See, I went into deep sleep. He is not, he is existing. See, we all go to deep sleep. We are not dead. You might, even if you don't have awareness. A yogi might have awareness in sleep, like Ramana he always used to sleep like this, sitting. He never used to be horizontal. He always sat vertically up. So, sitting vertically up means a yogi, being in the state of yoga, alert, aware. So, Ramana never slept, technically. There's a nice incident where one of his disciples once came and watched him because he used to sit like this only and with his eyes closed. That's what's supposed to be his sleep. So one day his disciple saw him sitting, and next morning took some courage and asked Bhagavan, Bhagavan, do you sleep? And Ramana said, yes. And Bhagavan said, no, I don't sleep. Because he's sitting. Actually, he's not even lying down. So he had a doubt. Are you actually sleeping? So he asked him, do you sleep? Bhagavan said, no, I don't sleep. So the disciple said, the devotee said, but I heard you snore last night. You were snoring. And Ramana says, I heard it too. That's so beautiful. See, these are the brilliant teachings. In this small incident, only you can see the whole secrets. He also just doesn't give long discourses. One word, one experience, and everything is revealed. So when asked, do you sleep? He says, I don't sleep means I'm aware. Then the question is, then if you are aware, if you don't sleep, how are you snoring? Snoring is a sign of sleeping. But Ramana says, I heard it too. So if he is hearing his own snoring, can he be asleep? That's something. Here you can see the body and mind is sleeping, but his awareness is active. That is Bhairavi, uninterrupted awareness. Be it Jagrit, be it Swapna, be it Sushupti, it is awake. That's called Gyani. Gyani is supposed to be Purna. Gyani is not somebody who has knowledge and talking, giving Gyan. That is not Gyani. Gyani means one who has become Gyan. What I exactly said. Ramana once said, the Gyani is not even a Gyani because he has become Gyan. Gyani means the holder of wisdom, isn't it? Holder of Gyan. And he says, there is no holder there. Holder is the ego. The holder is gone, but the Gyan remains. That matches, right? What we are saying, like self is wisdom. So that state, you can see that's Yog Nidra. That is what we are all trying to practice in so many different ways, so many different webinars, so many retreats, and so many things, and we are getting close there, right? All these experiences and beautiful all are having. That's because you're understanding these tattvas. Without the basic foundation of these tattvas, you cannot jump there and do some meditation and get there. It is a destructive process. You have to destroy all that you have. Kala Bhairava's grace. If you're scared of this word called destruction, connect to Kala Bhairava. Invoke him. If you're scared of your own mind or somebody else's mind, if you don't trust anybody else, what do you trust, right? Invoke Kalbhairava then and see what will happen. So now he's thinking, I fell into sleep in a in a spot, in a moment where I had no awareness. Like we sleep at night, we have no awareness, but we are not dead. So he's telling, at that moment, it seems like Sadashiva has revealed his form in order to wake me up. And he has taken himself the task of creating the world. Who is supposed to create the world? Brahma. Who is supposed to maintain Vishnu? But in their absence also, Shiva is creating worlds. That is why he's asking, what remains for me or Brahma to do now? So who's great? Who's the creator? The creator is going to sleep here, but one creator is never sleeping. Divine will is always overriding the free will creator. Day before yesterday, we understood Brahma is the ego, the free will. And beyond Brahma is the divine will. Shambhu, who we call. Not the Shambhu with an identity. The supreme consciousness, Nirguna Nirakara. You can't define him also. There's no structure. There's no form. Form means it is after the I coming. Gods appear after that. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are all after the I. And that is still in Maya, illusion. It's still a part of the dream. It's part of the play. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh also is a part of the play. Part of the play, they are playing their roles. That is why they wind up. One that I am talking, Shiva, Shambhu, Sadashiva, whatever we are referring to here, the Parashiva, best word, is without any form. So if you are contemplating on some form, it is still not correct. You have to become aware deeply of that nothingness. And you'll find it is nothing but pure awareness. That is what the goal is. Then, meditating on Sadashiva, Vishnu prostrated before him and repeatedly saluted him. Then he absolved himself of his omissions. Whereupon the protector of those who seek refuge in him blessed Vishnu with compassion and bade him rise. Vishnu then stood up and prayed thus. So these are all put in the story format where Vishnu has realized, okay, he is everything, and so he has made a error, and so with compassion now Shiva blesses. This is all in the story format, but in depth you try to realize all these things. Vishnu stood up and thus prayed, Lord of three worlds, thou once destroyed the three cities of demons by thy laughter, according to the cause and effect through the crores of devas, thou performest deeds by thy will alone. Out of ignorance I fell into Yog Nidra, O Shambhu. Kindly forgive my sin. When Hara, means Shiva, heard Hari, means Vishnu, lamenting in this manner, he prescribed the following penance for Vishnu. So Vishnu is now lamenting, telling, I did a mistake. You who are everything, you destroyed the three cities of the demons, which I said Tripura. Tripura Rahasya, the destruction of the three cities. You are the one who destroyed it. You are the one, according to the law of cause and effect, through crores of devas, thou perform deeds by thy will alone. Thy will alone, he's saying. Now Vishnu is telling it is thy will alone. Teri raza mein meri raza. Jis vidhi rakhe us vidhi rahiye. Jo Shiva gya. That's that state. Thy will be done. Now Vishnu is realizing it's thy will alone, which Shiva Sutras talks about Swaicha. Shiva having Swaicha. It's his freedom of will, the cosmic intelligence, freedom of will by which the whole thing comes into existence and dissolves by its will. When Hara heard Hari, when Shiva heard Vishnu lamenting about it, he prescribed. So he gave him a prescription of what to do, penance to do. Shiva says, I abide on earth in the form of Arunachala. The moment you set your eyes on it, your ignorance will be destroyed. On a previous occasion, I gave a boon to another Vishnu at that place, means in a previous cycle. My manifestation at that time was known as the effulgent linga of Arunachala. That effulgent linga has cooled down for the sake of the world. See how beautiful this is. He's telling this, now what you're seeing, this Vishnu is seeing the Arunachala hill. So to this Vishnu of this era, there are multiple Vishnus which has happened in all stages. When multiple times this things repeats, no stories. So he's telling my manifestation at that time. On a previous occasion, I gave a boon to another Vishnu at that place, Arunachala's place. But at that time, I was light. Means a previous era. It has not yet manifested, become gross. At that time, when I existed at light, that Vishnu I had given a boon. So he used to worship the effulgent form, the Agni Swarupa, Jyoti, he used to worship as the Jyotir Swarupa because that time I existed, the Jyoti, but that effulgent linga is cooled down for the sake of the world. Sake of the world means the yugas as it comes. The grossness, because we become grossness, the consciousness becomes gross, then they can't understand the subtle. Light, white, unko samajh mein nahi aega. They can't even perceive when you become gross. Then you have to come down to that level. Then you have to take Saguna Rupa. Saguna Rupa is not enough. Then you have to become a idol. Then you have to become more grosser. How to connect with that idol? Karmakandas. Gross, things goes becoming gross. So this yugas, you can put it as evolution, my own evolution, our own evolution. We were there when in those yugas, when it was light, when it became the hill, and when it has come to the grossest form. Are you getting it? So that effulgent linga is cooled down for the sake of the world. Sake of the world means this, and you can see Shiva talking when he cooled down as the hill. He says, for the sake of my devotees, I will become this hill. Why? Because they can understand only the grossness. If they would have understood higher, there is no need for God to come down. Avatara means reincarnation. Gods only appearing in different formats, in different yugas, according to their nature and giving them the boost. You can see all the avatars, Matsya Avatara as a fish. You look at the avatars, you'll come to know how it starts. You'll see the creation of earth only. Water element, the Matsya, the fish. Then animal, you can see it comes to the boar, Varaha. Then it becomes a Narsimha, half animal, half man. Do you see that? From Pashu Vritti to becoming man. That is half animal, half this. And then it goes on. The final avatar is Buddha. See how simple it has all become? Buddha. So deep. Nevertheless, its fury unmanifest and of untold glory. Nevertheless, even if it has cooled down as a hill, its glory and unmanifest form and untold glory is still there. Untold glory. Why? Till it is told, till it is revealed, till we know about it. It's untold glory, right? So Gautama Rishi is revealing it. Till then, Parvati did not know about it. Since its effulgence is latent, streams, rivers, and rainwaters are absorbed by it. Moreover, its glory gives sight to the blind, ability to walk to the lame, progeny to the childless, and speech to the dumb. Arunachala confers all the siddhis, cures all diseases, destroys all sins, and grants all boons. You can see Arunachala works at all level, from the highest to the lowest. Whatever is needed to annihilate and keep evolving, at all levels it's functioning. After declaring thus, Mahadeva disappeared, and then Vishnu came to Arunachala. He practiced the austerities and worshipped Arunachala. See, even gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they all practiced. Why? Because now he had a slip. He made a mistake. He felt. So everybody is making mistake if you see. The Shakti held the eyes and she made a mistake, due to which the whole world went into darkness. Here you can see Vishnu also disappeared into sleep. Everything went into darkness. See the whole thing that happens in the pralaya, and they call that a mistake. So this habit of ours in which we go to sleep, जाग मुसाफिर भोर वही, अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है. This sleep is very dangerous. जाग मुसाफिर. Waking up from sleep is everything. That sleep is, you can see, he did penance for that sleep. I shouldn't have gone to sleep, is what Vishnu is telling. I should remain aware. Yoga Nidra. And he's confessing it to Shiva. And Shiva says, don't worry, you can remove that ignorance by going and meditating in Arunachala. Simple. So there he comes and he does his tapas there. He practiced austerities and worshipped Arunachala. He visited the devas living in the forest around the hill and built holy ashrams for the sages. He recreated the Vedas, Vedangas, and Upanishads, etc. He bathed in the Brahma Tirtha, circumambulated Arunachala, got rid of his sins, and attained the lordship of all the worlds. So that is how even Vishnu purifies, Brahma purifies, Parvati purifies. Can you see? Anything that comes in this play of consciousness has to be purified. Their purification only is pralaya. Simple. And we are what? Our purification is pralaya. Every being, you take it in the whole Srishti being created. It's not a one-time effect, okay? Don't think it's a linear, it happened once, now we are in this zone, now this will happen, now one day that pralaya is going to happen, everything is going to get destroyed, I am going to get destroyed, I am going to be one with. No, this is a constant happening. Every moment, some tattva might be getting dissolved right now in this shana, and in this shana something is exiting out of it and the new creation is beginning. It's a constant thing, like your cells in the body. Some cells are dying, some cells are recreated. Constant happening. So never think it happened and I am stuck in some. No, it is constantly here. Anytime you are interested, you open your eyes, you will find the play here happening. This play is never going to end. Then what is mukti? Mukti is getting out of the cycle. If you don't get out of the cycle, you'll go to sleep and you'll wake up again every morning. The end of life, there is no end of life. You die, you are born again. Because the desire to experience is still there. When it is fully annihilated, then only the complete dissolution. Dissolution will never happen altogether. People have these wrong ideas. And I sit with people and they have all these wrong ideas. One day it will happen. If you dissolve right now, the whole Srishti will vanish right now in front of you. Let's say you dissolve into that. There is no existence for you. There is no Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. There is no this planet, that planet, this galaxy. Where you have? When you are sleeping, do you have any idea? Think about yourself in sleep. Exactly same happens. Only thing, sleep is temporary. You have to wake up again because vasanas, karmas bring you out. Dissolution means permanent sleep, that's all. But in that sleep also you exist. So it's not a one time, a linear kind of a thing. It's constantly happening. You come, you dissolve, it's gone. There is no Maya, no samsara for the one was dissolved. Take for example your night. Take for example your deep samadhi meditations. At that time there is nothing. Everything pralaya has happened. But a temporary. Bhagavan Ramana calls this as mano laya in Upadesaram. This process where the mind dissolves itself temporarily only to wake up again. This process is called manolaya. But he says that's not enough. Mano nasha must happen. The mind must be destroyed. That is why in Chidakasha Gita, the first line begins with Gyani ko man nahi. Gyanis have no mind. Mind is destroyed. When the mind is destroyed, only that being can be called a Gyani, because there is no mind, there is no I. There is no concept of me and mine. There is no ideas, there is no planning, there is no doer. Everything is gone with the mind. Mind gone, everything is gone. Mind, man hi karta, man hi bhokta. Mind is the cause of bondage. When the mind is removed, that is called Gyani. Mind is temporarily removed, that is not a Gyani. I might remain in deep samadhi for 10 minutes, 10 days, or 10 years, or 10 centuries, but still it is Manolaya. Let me share this small incident which I have talked many times. A Gyani was sitting and people were running here and there. News came that a Siddha has woken up after 100 years of deep samadhi. The Siddha was in deep samadhi and they all rushed. The commotion happened and they said a great event has happened. So Gyani has no great event. What's great in that? Somebody has woken after so many years, long years. So Gyani says, find out what happened when the Siddha woke up after so many years. They find out and they come to know that the moment he came out of Samadhi, he asked for water, give me water. Water was given to him. This was told to the Gyani, and the Gyani said, before this yogi went into Samadhi, just before Samadhi, he had the urge, the desire, the kama for water, quench his thirst. So he asked for little water. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. It has to be fulfilled. Any vasana that is created, it has to be fulfilled. So he asked for it before the fulfillment, before the water came and quenched his thirst. He fell into deep samadhi. But the desire remained for 100 years. It remained suspended. So when he woke up from his samadhi, the first vasana that came into his mind was water. So the Gyani explained, what good has that samadhi done if it cannot annihilate a simple vasana of water? The tendency remained, and you can say because of that tendency you open, because some tendency has to be there to open. So he defined that as manolaya. That is just a power, a siddhi, a feat, but that's not completion yet. Mind is dissolved temporarily, but it's coming back, manolaya. The mind has to be completely destroyed, manonasha. What I told you, the Mahapurusha told me in Gangotri while I was in the Himalayas once. He told, don't be so impressed with all the sadhanas that you're seeing. I was saying, wow, wow, all are doing these sadhanas. He said, no, this is just work in progress. I was very surprised when he said work in progress. Then he told the I has to completely die. The mind has to completely die. They are all preparing for that higher sadhana. And that is what is meant, what Chidakasha Gita, Bhagavan is telling. After Vishuddhi, there is another. The I has to be removed. The saint has to die, the renunciate has to die, the disciple has to die, the devotee has to die, the guru has to die, the Mahapurusha has to die, the sannyasi has to die, these identities has to die, the holder of the identity has to go. When there is nothing left, that is called Avadhuta. All identities are removed, there is no mind in them. When there is no mind, they don't even know who they are. You look at Avadhutas, you ask them who you are, they will ask you, Ulta, who am I? Because there is no identity in them. Identity, mind has been destroyed. They cannot carry any impression about themselves. I am this, I am that. You ask them, are you a Hindu or a Muslim? I mean it. I'm not joking. You ask him, you ask them. I've been with this 14, 15, and I have experimented thoroughly. I'm coming out with a document which will help you guys understand. Real experiences, not joking about it. So you go and find out. Ask them, are you a Hindu or a Muslim or a Parsi or a Sikh or a Christian or what? Ask them, are you a Hindu or a Indian or a Pakistani or an American or a Canadian or what? Ask them, are you rich or are you poor? Or ask them, are you saint or are you a criminal? Ask them, are you a grahastha or a vanaprastha or a sannyasi or a brahmacharya? They will not answer any of your questions because they have no idea about any of these concepts. They have gone beyond it. These are all in the head. All what I described right now, these are all mental concepts. Till the mind is there, when manonasha happens, nothing remains. That is Avadhuta. If you want more information on Avadhuta, you can go to my website and do the courses. shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You will find Avadhut Gita in Hindi and English, in depth, 10-15 days course. So this is the end of what we had to speak about Narayana. Then he talks about Surya and Brahma and Sun and Chandra and Indra and Devas and Sukra, Gandharvas, all different stories. How they all see. This is what I was saying. This I'll just read it after all tomorrow. Till here it was worth explaining. Now these are all the what did Surya god do, what did the Chandra god do, what did they all did tapas only. Now if you understand Brahma, Vishnu, they did tapasa to dissolve. You understand Parvati is doing to dissolve. Everybody is just purifying themselves in that manner. So I'll just mark it here and we will continue from here tomorrow. So I'm sure if you're doing the whole series, those who are serious seekers, I would recommend you to go through the entire series from 1 till 10, and I don't know till where it is going. I am just let out. I have no plans, I have no idea till where it will go. In fact, it's very funny. When I was sitting near Bhagwan Ramana Samadhi last month, I was reading a beautiful document, and it was so beautifully written. I even forgot who is it. One of the devotee only, and he was involved in one of the translation of Telugu work and all that. But he had written very beautifully his own work it was, but many interactions with Ramana, which reveals so much about Bhagavan Ramana's inner state. So that thought while I was sitting there came to my head that I should do this live on YouTube, which that book. That's where this whole thing began. And here we are doing something else. It started with that thought. Then I said, okay, we'll do that because it's a good feeling. It will benefit many who are hearing. So I came with that, and the first thought that came to my head was Okay, if new people who do not know about Ramana or Arunachala, if they start reading directly about the greatness of the Mahapurushas, what is Arunachala? Because I'll be talking so much in that. People, they will just go, they'll not understand. Then I said, okay, a brief introduction about Arunachala and Ramana. So we'll do some Chintana because Ramana Chintana will do. And then we will deepen that journey into what we understand about Ramana. But here we are sitting doing the glory of Arunachala, the Mahatma, the glory of Arunachala. This book came, as I said, we'll just take some snippets and I'll go through it quickly so that I can give you a reference. But here I ended up reading 30 pages now, 31 pages, word by word, line by line, and 10 episodes have happened on this. We are going slow, and I think it's meant to be because one record will be of Arunachala. So it's good to know about Arunachala and then slowly to understand who Bhagwan Ramana is before we go. So I am also glad that this happened and it will remain on YouTube for all the new seekers who are very new to Arunachala. For them, it will help. And even us, the old seekers also, it will clear so much of doubts and it will give you more clarity of the real nature of Arunachala, the real tattva, the mystery, mysterious which we are entering into. So by grace it's happening. That's what I'm saying. This doesn't go by our will. We just have to surrender. An idea emerges from us, the cosmic intelligence. It just raises itself. You have to just surrender and flow. And that's how I've explained. We have done all the retreats, all webinar, every single retreat is done in this manner. There is no package, there is no scheduling that is done, there is no timetable that is done that we will be doing this and that. It just keeps unwinding what is meant to be. And that is what I reiterate again and again. Not what I am doing, that is what we should be doing, how we should be doing, living life the way it comes. And that's how we get connected with that tattva, becoming one with that tattva. And then that starts by practice. Like any practice, there will be ups and downs, there will be falls. It's not that I have never fallen or I don't fall. I am fine tuning it by the help of that grace only. I can see a marked difference in the past 4 years of whatever I've done, I've been able to do here. Marked difference I can see, and that's by grace. What I can see, you look at my own videos, you'll come to know in the past 5 years that the transition that has happened. That's the power of the grace that does it. So where is the question that it doesn't happen in our life? So I'm just trying to share this so that it will help all of us. We are all in the same common boat. There's nothing somebody ahead or behind. These are all the mind games that feels like that. As I told you, we are just walking each other back home. That's all. Because we are all Shiva only, right? Pretending to play in this in this role, that role, and all that. So enjoy the game. That's all. Nothing else to do. We have been put in this bracket, in this frame. There's nothing else to do. What can you do here? I literally think, what else can you do other than what's happening to you? What can you do? I have no interest to do. I have interest to do. That is because that is troublesome because I is trying to have an interest or not have an interest. As I repeatedly tell you, whether you have interest in life or you don't have an interest in life, you will still survive. People go and commit suicide thinking they are going to end. Where they will end? They have ended only one body, physicality. Where they will go? They will still continue playing the game in some other format, maybe a little weird games after that. It might be not be easy, but it's still part of the game only. No one can cease to exist. So in awareness, what do we learn? Exist in whichever format you are right now, the way you are, what I told you yesterday, wherever you are, however you are, it's in the most perfect state. Don't even doubt it. It's a part of that journey. You are simply supposed to relish it, whatever and however it is. The moment you understand this, you are free. You don't have to wait and wait and do tapas and reach somewhere. This is all the mind ego's game, that you feel the destination is somewhere. I have to do something. I have to do this. I have to take another 2 dozen dikshas. Then I will be somewhere. I have to do this intense. This is all the mind games. You shut the mind and put it aside, like Shiva is telling Parvati, throw all that thing out. Just be here in the present. Suddenly you will see you are free. You might still be connected with karma because karma is there. But you are not fueling or entertaining those karmas or living in the drama of that mind. You have shifted into awareness. You are living in awareness. The mind is continuing to do what it has to do. Body is continuing to do what it has to do. That's what Ramana's core teachings are. Let the mind do, let the body do whatever it has to do. That will do. That's prarabdha. You can see the body is sleeping, mind is sleeping, body is snoring because the body can be tired. You can't say Ramana's body is never tired. You can see tiredness in his body. But he, the Atman, is not tired. It's always awake. You can see his body being afflicted by so many things, but he is not affected by it. So, mind, body, continuing. He is not stopping, he is not controlling, nothing. That freedom, where you shift into that awareness and you become free and allow the destiny to play itself out. It is one of the most powerful way because you allow the karma to play itself out without fueling it, without creating further drama. But if you get into your mind, if you get into controlling your destiny, 100% you will generate new karmas. Definitely. In order to restrict it, dodge it, avoid it, or in the practice of trying to overcome it, you will create new karmas, rakta bijas. So, shifting into awareness and just living in this awareness allows those things to dissipate. Like Bhagavan Ramana clearly says, if you do not live in the mind, you are not fueling it. You are not putting more water to the weeds, to those vasanas, to those tendencies, to the karma there. You are actually starving it because you are not available in those spaces. So they die on its own. There is one zone where karma die on its own. The other is to go and kill karma and destroy karma. In that destroyer will create more problems. That's the ego fighting. So this marga is a very mature zone. When it comes here, you understand all this what we have understood and realized is all to one level. Okay, fine. But you have to transcend it. So our efforts are to transcend it by the grace of Arunachala Shiva and Bhagavan Ramana. Let's become aware of today's session and the grace and wisdom that comes from Arunachala Shiva. Through Rishi Gautama, recorded by these great masters, because these all were recorded from those days and passed on. That only was picked up again by Ramana and given out. Today we are sitting here and connecting to the great rishis, sages of those days, who are all again manifestations of Shiva. So you can see how the jnana flows from Shiva himself through these tattvas, and somehow even in this yuga it will reach us. That's what I'm trying to say. Connect to that eternal power, which is purely unconditional and impartial. We all have direct access to it. Just because of the mind and the sense of unworthiness, we don't trust ourselves. But by the grace of Shiva, when we realize this, we know how to connect to Him, that light which is within us, that light which right now also is blooming us, that light which right now also shines in our intellect, in our minds, in our indriyas, in our body. It is by the power of that light that I even listen, that I'm even contemplating and reflecting. Without that light, how can I do anything? Can I do this in sleep? I cannot. That awareness, which is aware right now, making me conscious, that is doing the work. This awareness, when it is not at night, I cannot do anything. So let us contemplate on the awareness that we are right now, which is keeping me alert, conscious, interested, connected. That awareness, that consciousness which runs through my whole body, which perfectly works without my interruption. It beats the heart without my permission. It breathes without my permission. It digests without my permission. It sends signals, electric signals, all throughout my body without my permission. It produces new cells without my permission. It destroys old cells without my permission. Who's greater, me or this light? I depend on this light. My organs depend on this light. My mind depends on this light. My viveka, my intellect depends on this light. This light is everything, and that is where Shiva is. Shiva is right here, right in me, shining through me and giving me life, shining through me as pure awareness. And as this awareness overflows into my mind, my intellect, my indriyas, my body, they all become alive, and I'm able to become aware of my body, my indriyas. And through this body, mind, intellect, I am able to connect with the world and have an experience. It is pure awareness that seeps through all these koshas and goes and touches the external environment and bounces back. So when it goes and hits and bounces back, I have an experience of life. I call that as an experience. And I relish that experience. This experience only I call life. And this is my basic desire, what I wanted to experience. So I, the pure awareness, have manifested this body and all its faculties so that I can have an experience using this body. So I am what? I'm not this body, neither the intellect, neither the mind, neither the senses. I'm pure awareness using this suit, human suit, and all its faculties to have an experience. I am Shiva, choosing to have a human experience. Contemplate on this light, this awareness. If you're able to deeply contemplate, that's grace, the bhava, the beingness, the gratitude to this deep, subtlest knowing shining in me. You're directly interacting with Shiva. Surrender to this light, melt into this awareness. Where even I don't remember, I don't have to hold an experience. I dissolve myself. That dissolution, if you experience, that's grace. That's surrender. That's pure love, unconditional love. That's the greatest service. That's the purest of bhakti called parabhakti. And that's the greatest tapas, says the 30th verse of Upadesara. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadayachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed, may we all evolve, may we all be free. Arunachala Shiva. See you tomorrow at night.